You know, you will often hear us ask you, our viewer, if you have got a story that you would like to share with us, or if you know of somebody who has accomplished something or has met a goal that they've worked on for quite a while now. Well, our next guest is a prime example of why we ask you those questions. You see, we always figured the director of the Humane Society of Wicomico County, Errol Balsamo, was just a guy who has a heart for animals and tries to pair them with a loving home. And we're very grateful for that, don't misunderstand. But guess what? We received an email from a viewer who told us there is much more to Aaron than that. Much more. What we didn't know was that Aaron spent a lot of time training a military working dog named Errol. Once that training was complete as members of the United States Air Force, Aaron and Errol served our country in Kuwait and Saudi Arabia. That was years ago. So fast forward to today. Aaron recently received word that Errol was retiring. And guess who he's spending his golden years with today? We are honored to have Aaron and Errol with us here at Historic Studio D this afternoon. Thanks for coming in,
Absolutely.
Both of you.
Thank you.
What a tremendous chain of events.
Absolutely.
Take us back to when you were training Errol. Was that part of a military program, or?
Yeah, so we were both in the Air Force, and he had basically just finished basically canine boot camp for the dogs.
Yeah.
And he got assigned to Offutt Air Force Base in Nebraska. As he got assigned there, about 2 weeks later, I finished my training for a canine handler, and I got stationed up in Offutt Air Force Base, Nebraska, and we were assigned together. So I was his first handler, and he was my first dog.
Oh, wow.
So we worked together for about 4 years, and then the military reassigned me to Andrews Air Force Base up in D.C. And unlike a lot of civilian law enforcement, the dogs stay at the base. They're assigned to the base. So when I went to Andrews, he had to stay behind. So it was about 4 years between times that I had seen him. And my friends that I still have that are stationed out in Nebraska got a hold of me back in the fall and let me know that there was a possibility he was going to be getting medically retired.
Yeah.
And back in November, they told me it was likely going to happen. I contacted the kennels out there, and they let me know that, yeah, he was going to get retired. And then it kind of, I didn't hear anything from anybody for a while, so I thought maybe they did some rehab and he was still good to work. And then out of the blue, I got a call and said, you know, if you still want Errol, he's all yours. You'll have him before Christmas. So early December, I made the trip out to Omaha, Nebraska to pick him up and came back home with him.
So how did that go? Did he recognize you?
Yeah, he kind of did a double take at first. He ran up to me, I pet him, and then he kind of took off, and then I said his name again, and then he kind of stopped and turned, and you could see him kind of tilt his head, and he came running up to me. They had a couch in the kennels, and we sat down and just hung out for a little while before his retirement ceremony.
Do I understand you guys served together in Kuwait?
Yep, yes we did.
What was that like? What'd you do?
Well, it was a lot of searching, vehicles, kind of walking the fence line of the base, so walking through a lot of sand and things like that. Yeah. But, you know, it was a fun experience. You know, he learned a lot. We were the senior dog team there, so we had to help train the other dog teams and stuff like that and make sure everybody was proficient in what they were doing.
So was he still overseas when you came back to Wicomico County?
No, so he was still stationed out in Nebraska. When we got deployed, the tasking comes down and the handler and the dog deploy together, and then they come back afterwards.
But he went to Nebraska?
Yep, yeah, he was always stationed in Nebraska. When we deployed to, like when we went to Kuwait, we got an assignment to Kuwait for about 8 months, and we went to Kuwait together and then came back. But yeah, he was out in Nebraska when I picked him up.
So you guys really built a special bond.
Yes, definitely, yeah.
What was it like all that time without him?
It was one of those deals where, you know, I have a picture of me and him that always hung on my wall and stuff, and I always told my wife that if he ever got retired, there was always a space on my couch, and she didn't get a say in the matter. She just kind of had to deal with it. And it was one of those things I told myself that it was going to happen, but in reality, I was like, probably not going to happen, you know. And then for it to actually happen, you know, I couldn't be happier.
That was a good day.
Yeah, definitely.
That was a good day. So do I understand he had a retirement ceremony?
Yep, they had a full-on retirement ceremony. The wing commander was there, the command chief, so the top enlisted and top officer on the base were there. they gave him a plaque. He got some letters of appreciation and things like that. So, I mean, it was almost better than my retirement ceremony was.
Wow, how about that? Okay, now let me ask you this, because he's a highly trained dog. You trained him, you know this, and I guess I just wonder, how is he socially with other people? Is he still a military dog, or?
Well, he's always kind of had the mellow attitude. You know, so he's fine with people. He's very social.
Right.
But there are times where if I'm walking down a hallway or something, you can see him kind of the ears perk up and he'll watch somebody walk past me before he lays back down. So
Yeah.
he's still very attentive.
Do you have to keep him busy every now and then just to?
Yep, he gets bored around the house and in the office sometimes, and I'll just have him search some filing cabinets in the office, or he'll search my living room, and it keeps him occupied. My veterinarian said it's good for his mental health because he's just known, you know, working his whole life, so it's good for his mental health to kind of keep him every now and then.
Makes him happy.
Yeah.
Makes him. So I understand you guys went down to Ocean City here recently.
Yep, yeah, we went down to Ocean City. Took a little walk on the boardwalk and the beach, you know, before, of course, all the snow happened. And, you know, he had a good old time. He, you know, got his paws a little bit wet, and that was about it. But he seemed to enjoy the breeze and everything. So we're going to have to start, you know, making those trips regular when it's nice out.
And how old is he?
He's 11 years old.
So do you have a favorite story that proves that a dog is man's best friend?
I mean, the favorite story is really just ending up with him and seeing him take back to me, and, you know, a lot of the things that we did, and I talked to other people that handled him, you know, there's certain nuances that, you know, like the way I say his name, sometimes I'll roll the L's, and, you know, there's certain things that I do that he's picking back up on, and, you know, the bond is still there. And to be separated for 4 years and then for that bond to still be there, to feel like he really did remember me is just one good story for me.
That is fantastic. And he hangs out, you were saying he hangs out at the Humane Society with you?
Yep, he's my assistant director now, so he's in my office every day. He has a big old dog bed right beside my desk, and he'll hang out in my office, and then I'll go up to the front office and hang out with the staff up there. And
so who's really in charge?
Oh, he is, definitely.
Okay, just checking. Yeah. And he knows it too, doesn't he?
Yes, he does.
Aaron, thank you for your service.
Absolutely.
Thank you for your time. Errol, thank you for your service and time. I'll leave you alone. You got something better to do right now. Thank you very much. Wonderful talking to you this afternoon.